Okay, so just a quick update. Ended up doing a Berliner, and because I wanted to try it out, and heard so much about it, and so I talked to Josh Shakur, and he kind of helped me through it, as well as Andrew and a bunch of other ones. So I really appreciate that. But there it is. So I just bottled a bunch of it up, so this is just what I had left. But kind of a pretty color. Pretty yellow, not bad. So let's get a smell on this thing. Okay, so you can smell the sourness in it, the acidity in it. Now I just used lactobacillus, and so you kind of catch that sour note to it. So I was sorry about the fridge; it just kicked on. Anyway, so I was gonna do this in a peach. Problem is, this is the wrong time of year, so I couldn't get any peaches. I had a guy that was gonna hold me over 3 pounds of them just down the road, and yeah, well, that didn't happen. So this is just kind of my concoction. Tried doing a little bit of a kiwi strawberry with it. Now I just used extract because that's, with the timelines and all that kind of stuff and everything. But you can kind of catch that kiwi, that strawberry in it. But I figure, just give it something a little different. But let's get a taste. Cheers. Okay. So it is a little sour, not like crazy sour. But from what I've read, a Berliner is not supposed to be huge sourness. But I don't get any vinegar, Andrew. Thanks. But I don't get any vinegar out of it, which is really good. I'm really happy with that. Excited about that. I guess just a little bit of the hop that I used. So I used to use German Hallertau in it. And so I catch a little bit of that. But it's got a really good flavor to it. It's kind of like a light sour. I do get the kiwi and the strawberry in it, but again, it's an extract, so it's kind of that juicy flavor to it, if that makes sense. Cheers. Yeah, so it's got a really good mouthfeel to it too. I'm actually really happy with it being my first Berliner. So when I did this beer, what I did is I did the kettle sour method. But instead of using the kettle, I used a fermenter. So I have an old fermenter that I cleaned out really well. Used a little bleach in it about 2 months ago, and so I washed it out really good, sanitized it, and so I took the runoff off the grains, off the mash, and of course put it in the kettle and brought it to a boil. And I boiled it for about 10 minutes is all. I didn't put any hops in it. I didn't do anything like that. So then I took it out of the kettle, put it into this fermenter, and I used the fermenter for the souring. But what I did do is I used the lactobacillus, and I forget the white yeast. I think it's like, well, I'm not even going to say it because I'll fuck it up. But so I used the lactobacillus and I put it inside of the fermenter. And then I took CO2 and put a blanket of CO2 over top of it, and then closed the fermenter and put an airlock on it. And so then I took it downstairs and I bought an Inkbird controller and a blanket that goes around the fermenter that's a heater. And so I brought that up initially, I brought it up to 115 degrees. And I let it go for about 5 days. 5 days. And then I was talking to Andrew from Not on Sundays Brewing, and he gave me a really good insight, good website to be able to figure out what lactobacillus likes, for what strain it is. And so he told me, he says, yeah, bring it back down to about 90. And so I did. And because my pH, it started at I think it was a 4.3. And my pH after 5 days had only dropped to like 3.9. And I was shooting for a 3.6. And so after changing it to 90 degrees, it took 1 day and it was down to 3.6, exactly what I wanted it. And so then I took it out of that fermenter and I put it back in the boil kettle and of course brought it to a boil, and my 60-minute addition was 0.45 ounces of Hallertau. And so I dropped that in, and then I put another 0.5 ounces at 30 minutes and another 0.5 ounces at Flame Out. And I'm thinking I probably should have left the second and third edition hop out of it. Should have just done the initial 60-minute bittering edition, because I do catch that hop flavor in this beer. But again, for my first Berliner, of course I'm gonna let them carb up. I ended up bottling 36 bottles of it. So it's sitting downstairs, and of course I'm going to bottle condition these instead of putting them in the keg. So it'll take a little while for it to come up, but I'm really excited. After tasting it and smelling this beer, the look of it, of course it's straight out of the fermenter, but the look of it's really pretty. It's very light. I think this is going to come out. My pre-boil gravity was 1.34, and then when I boiled it and added the hops and all that kind of stuff, it came up to 1.43, and it finished out at 1. What was it? 1.10, so 1.010. So I'm really happy with that. But anyway, so like I said, just a quick update. I've been sitting here talking for freaking 8 minutes yet now, but anyway, so I just want to give a big shit out. That's funny. Anyway, a big shout out to Josh Gore. Appreciate your talking with me back and forth about this. Everybody on the round table, Andrew from Not on Sundays Brewing, they really helped me out a lot. Like I said, this is my first one. I've never really tried this before. Souring is something I've never ever got into. So this is the first one. Anyway, so more to follow, I'm sure. But again, thanks and cheers to y'all. Take care.